Got any ideas?
Hey guys, VALTORIOUS the Awoken here. Now, this is going to be like a more of a discussion type video, and we're going to be talking about like Ultimate Spider-Man. Like, is he the worst Spider-Man of not all time, but like, is he just like the worst Spider-Man? Because it's like Brian Michael Bendis. I love his story. Like, I love the Ultimate Spider-Man story because it's like, it's good. It's really good and stuff, and kind of to a degree it's realistic, but it's like I'm more of a split soul when it comes to the story, because it's like, okay, if he went up against Kingpin, and yes, I understand he's only been Spider-Man for like, I believe like a year, because since I've been like, you know, reading like the comics, watching like some of the videos and stuff like that, and it's like, okay, like, yeah, he's been Spider-Man for like a year, and you know, the moment he goes up against Kingpin and, you know, his peeps and stuff like that, immediately his mask gets like taken off, and I'm like, huh? Suit gets messed up. He gets not speared out of a building. He gets I guess knocked out of a building, or escapes out of a building, and next thing you know, he lands on top of the glass ceiling of the building, and everybody sees his face, and I'm like, wait, what? How can you just, why don't you just use like your I don't know, like web yourself up, you know, so that way nobody won't be able to see most of your face, you know, cover it like that. So I'm like, okay, and he's dealing with everything by himself until eventually, like, he you know, he tells Mary Jane about it, because it's like in the story, Mary Jane and Peter, it's like she likes him but never really confessed it. He was at a party one night, she saw him and ran out because he was with some dancing with other girls and stuff like that. But it's like it's a weird relationship that those two have, until eventually they kind of like confided in one another, and they, you know, made themselves a thing. But even though she's the one that kind of like was like fixing and stitching up his suit, which is realistic, because it's like, if he's starting out to being Spider-Man, he's not gonna have no bulletproof suit. He's not gonna have something that's gonna keep him from the suit being torn apart by either burns, acid, you know, all this type of and gunfire. You know, it makes sense that the suit is gonna be basically, you know, ripped to shreds in every single time that he's out there in battle and stuff. Because it's like, when you look at the mainstream Spider-Man, and it's like, yeah, sometimes like when he's in battle, like, you don't really see the suit getting ripped up as much and stuff, and you never see the mask come off. Never. Like, yeah, you probably see like the mask getting like ripped in half a little bit, and you probably like see half his face, but it's not to a degree where it's like like all his face, like you see everything and stuff. Maybe in one of the stories it probably happened like that, but you don't see it all the time. In this one, it's like, it was almost every time, like, they just saw his freaking face, and you like, wait, what? Like, yo, my boy, like, I'm not feeling this. Like, I'm not really feeling like your face is being exposed every time, and you keep getting busted. But you know, him and the Norman fight, well, when Norman was like, you know, you're my son, and basically you got bit by the spider, so that means you're my property. Stop the spider stuff, or I'm gonna kill your aunt. I'm gonna kill your aunt, you know. So yeah, and I'm gonna kill your girlfriend too. So I was like, okay, Norman was kind of, because he was basically making him like scared and stuff, like, listen, you know, you either gonna do what I say or else, you know. And then you have Gwen Stacy. Now, the Gwen Stacy and, you know, Parker type thing, I like to say she had a thing for him, but it was more like, I don't know, it looked like it was there, but it didn't like fully like develop, you know. It didn't fully develop that way and stuff, because it was like, after when her father got killed by the fake Spider-Man by a bomb and stuff, basically she lived with like, you know, with Peter and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, it was quite interesting. And, you know, it's more like when you read or watch like some of the videos of Ultimate Spider-Man, it's more like, I mean, it is a teen. It's a teen drama thing because it's like Brian Michael Bendis. It's like this man. It's like watching Degrassi. It's like watching Degrassi, but with spider powers and people that has like superhuman powers and freakishly retarded straight. So it's like, like, all right, like I understand, but leading on to like other things when the Avengers was basically was brought into the story, and then you had Norman basically was like, listen, he came after him again. He was like, oh, okay, you're on again, you keep playing with me like that. So he was like, alright. So he was with with Norman and then his peeps, so that it was like going up against like the Avengers, because I think they was trying to go after I think they was at the White House or something. I think trying to go after the president. I forgot, but I think they was going after somebody. And then after for a while, you had like Cap. He was like, yo, what are you doing? He said he gonna kill my aunt. He like, listen, we got her in the shield helicarrier. He said, you promise? You swear? He said, yes, I promise. The next thing you know, he just destroyed Norman. And then that's when they had brought them all back onto the helicarrier, stuff like that. And then that's when you had I think this was either before or after the time when Otto was like discovering. He was like, wait, I knew there was a kid named Parker. He was like, yeah. But even so, he was the one that discovered it and stuff like that. So I was like, it makes it, when you read the story, it makes it seem like it's not like none of the villains are stupid, because all the villains is gonna be like, well, we know who he is and stuff, because it's like they think. And it's not like, okay, if you watch it, if you read the reading in the mainstream, and it's like, okay, it takes a while or sometimes not at all for them to figure out like, oh, you're Spider-Man and stuff like that. I know who you are, blah blah blah. Only a few people in the mainstream comics that actually figured out who Peter was and stuff. So it makes more sense that way. But when you look at it this way, it's kind of a realistic standpoint, because it's like, he hasn't been Spider-Man for that long, so it's like, yeah, it makes sense for everyone to like, oh, take off the mask and stuff, because when you see he has no form of like training, because when he was like thinking of ideas to use the webs, it was like, yeah, he's still inexperienced, but he's inexperienced, but he's learning to get experience and stuff while fighting. So I guess you could say, that also plays into a factor like that and stuff. But my favorite part was when Otto knocked out Peter, had him in a private jet flying to, I think it was either Brazil or Venezuela, somewhere and stuff. He was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna take you somewhere, because you don't listen to me like that. I was like, yo, what happened? Then he defeated him, took a plane back to go back to New York and stuff like that, and I was like, wait, what? Like how you let this happen? Even after the fact, when Nick Fury destroyed like his he destroyed his arms, but then eventually like he got those arms back. Yeah, he got it back. But I'm like, listen, this is why I said in comics, I don't understand. If you have the means to either cure the enemy, cure the villain, or destroy what makes the villain powerful, why don't you just do that in the first place? Like with Norman, like, yeah, he was like, oh, he's a nice man now. He's a nice man. Next thing you know, Harry was like, yo, my father's a good boy. He's a good man now. So he wants us to invite you all for dinner. So he's like, yeah. He's nah. Next thing you know, he managed to still get Peter, because Peter at the time, he was grounded because he came in the house like 3 o'clock in the morning and stuff, and Aunt May was like, well, listen, I gotta ground you because you're not telling me nothing. You doing some next level stuff, like, yo, what's up with you, like that. So that's when Harry managed to get Peter kind of off of punishment, and then Norman was like, oh yeah. That's when the whole talk was like, yo, you ain't gonna be Spider-Man no more. It was funny because he transformed in front of his face and stuff. He said, oh, I got Harry under hypnosis, so it's pretty good right now. And then it's like everybody just knew. Everybody knew. And even in the battle, when I guess at Washington D.C. or at the White House or whatever, when they fought, and that's when Harry was like, listen, I can't do this anymore. Like I hate everybody here and stuff. He was like, but Harry, like, no. And then it was just so crazy how everything was just spiraling out of control. Like one thing led to another. I did like that the whole Black Cat, like she beat Spider-Man, and then somehow they basically had like a, I don't know, like a weird romantic drink until it was like interrupted by Elektra and stuff, because you find out that Elektra paid no, Kingpin paid Elektra to kidnap Felicia Hardy and stuff, and was like, yo, with a tablet at stuff like that. But Felicia Hardy was getting revenge against Kingpin because he had her father, I think, arrested. I think he was arrested or killed. I forgot. It was one of the two. I think he was arrested and stuff like that. And she was like, well, with everything that you do, like, I will destroy. And then she threw like the tablet into the water. But then you find out that Kingpin needed it because of his wife, because she wasn't able to see, and I guess she was in an ill condition, so he wanted to like make her better and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, he had a reasonable cause to do something, but again, Kingpin is still a dick, so can't wait to see him in Daredevil 3 though. So yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know how I feel about like Ultimate Spider-Man, because it's like I told you, like, I'm a split soul when it comes to this. Like, I love the story because it's like he's inexperienced. He's he's trying to get experience. He's trying to learn how to be like a better Spider-Man. And then, on that note, it's like he just keeps getting his ass kicked and his mask removed and his suit messed up. It's like, oh, we know who you are now. He's a young boy. He's just a kid. It's like, yeah, he's a kid with spider powers. I own him. And you're like, what? What do you mean? But yeah, man. Yeah, Brian Michael Bendis, he knows how to make a great story. And it's like I said, like, I like Ultimate Spider-Man. It's just that I think that since he was like inexperienced, to me, I feel like he's like kind of like the worst, because if I was Spider-Man, first off, I'm going to Nick like, yo, train me. I gotta get this training. Like, yo, you gotta teach me some moves and stuff like that. Like, yo, because if I'm out here, I need to get trained. Hook me up with like some bulletproof, some protection, some of this stuff. So, like, so that way when I'm going out there, I'm not getting my ass kicked, stuff like that. That's what he should have did first, and then you could still get experience while in combat. But I'll be like, you're gonna be hooking me up with some suits and some training first, then I could do my work. So if I'm going up against the Rhino, Shaka's he in that Ultimate Universe, Shaka's basically easy. He's not even a threat. Rhino, Goblin, Octopus, whatever. Like, hook me up and stuff like that. So it's like, to me, it's like, and plus how the story was written is like, it makes me think like, he's an okay Spider-Man, but I feel like he's the worst, because it's like, how was it that you have Kurt Connors? He was like, oh, I know who you are. And it's like, wow. The next thing you know, how is it that you literally, like, he was the Lizard, right? How is it that he was the Lizard and you basically said, oh, it's all right, for you to do these little weird experiments on me. Like, first you could fix me up because I got shot and almost beaten and killed to death. There, fix me up on that. But I did not give you the right or the permission to take my blood and try to do something with it and stuff. I would have been like, destroy that, get rid of it, I would have been there with him to destroy it, because next thing you know, he created Vampire Carnage, and next thing you know, Vampire Carnage killed Gwen, killed multiple amount of people, and then he was like, what did you do? I was trying to work on something. But in reality, he was trying to work on a way to get his arm back, because in every single comic, in any type of probably like alternate timeline reality in different universe, if Kurt Connors lost an arm, he will always try to figure a way of doing something to get his arm back. But since it made Vampire Carnage and killed a lot of people, basically, you can kind of blame Spider-Man for allowing this to happen, and then you can blame Kurt Connors for having those people die. So it's like, that's what kind of drew the end for me. And I was like, nah, man, it's like, how you just sit there and you allow this to happen? Yeah, you destroyed Venom Carnage and stuff like that, but everything else, it kind of just was a sham, even though it led to some other stuff happening later on, clones, Then eventually his death. I did like that the whole X-Men concept where you had the young X-Men, the Jean Grey. She was like, "Yo, you're like the first person in 6 months not to think about me naked until now." Oh yeah. Oh wait. Oh, one more time. Oh, all right. That's it. Like that. I was like, oh. Then him and Kitty Pryde was a thing. I liked that though. I think the Kitty Pryde and Peter was a good thing. It was a good thing. Besides the whole Mary Jane thing, I think Kitty Pryde was actually interesting, stuff like that. So it's like I said, the grassy teen drama as Spider-Man, but fighting super villains and stuff who wants to kill him multiple amount of times and stuff. But then you have to keep the secret from Aunt May, who eventually you told and she told you to get out. So I don't know, man. I don't know, but yeah. Yeah, but I think, like I said, it's a good story. It's a good story. Nonetheless, it's still a great story, but I think he's not a great Spider-Man to a degree. So I think I'm gonna end that right here. If you like what you heard you like, in this discussion video, please subscribe, share, do all that wonderful stuff. And I'll catch you later.